Hello and welcome to Dharma Talk Tuesday. I feel like I need some special background music for this one, like special like Dharma Talk Tuesday, dun dun dun, because the topic that we're discussing today is one that honestly brings a lot of triggers up. It brings a lot of anger and emotions and righteousness and things like that up in people. And that's exactly why I'm discussing it. And I'm just going to be really super honest and real and vulnerable with you that when I was thinking last night about what to talk about today and what to write my email about today, I sat there for like 3 hours. I'm not even kidding. And Matt was here. He can attest. I was like, should I really go there? Should I really do this? Should I really talk about this? And I just felt this really clear, strong message from God, like, yes, you must. It's one of those things, like, if you can, then you must. If you can, then you must. And I was like, ah, okay, here we go. It's happening. It is happening. So those of you that are joining, hello, happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me here. Thank you for coming and being a part of this. If you know anyone who needs to hear this conversation and be a part of this conversation, please tag them in the comment thread now or hit the share button so that we can bring more light to this conversation, more light to the shadow of this topic, which honestly causes health problems, it causes divorces, it causes relationships and friendships to break down. It causes, like, the topic of money and greed, like, I don't know, like, if you want to look at the verse that's one of the things that's talked most about in the Bible, it's like 2,500 verses in the Bible are about money. And, you know, I was researching it and learning about it yesterday as I was preparing for this conversation. And it's really clear. It's not that money is more important than other topics. That's not it at all. It's that the topic of money is so misunderstood among humans. And like, we have so much trouble grappling with this topic and with this conversation that, like, the Bible actually talks about it that many times. And the Bhagavad Gita talks about it. And it's like in all the texts, it's discussed. And it's like people still struggle with it. There's such an emotional, deep thing. It's like an ancestral thing. So it's important that we talk about this today. So I just want to say hello, those of you that are joining. Chandra, thank you for the hearts and likes. Maureen, hello. I hope you had fun in Disneyland or are having fun in Disneyland with your family. Facing the resistance that's happening. Happy Tuesday. Shawnee, hello, good to see you again here. All right, so like I said, if you know anyone who could benefit from this conversation, please tag them below and or share, hit the share button on this right now so that your friends and family can benefit from this. Because imagine a world where people are not torn apart, families are not torn apart, friendships and relationships are not torn apart because of this really challenging, confrontational topic. All right, so here's what inspired this thread, this topic, and I just am reaching for my computer right now. Hopefully I don't fall over out of my chair. Okay, oops. So I received an email in response to the webinar that I did this weekend about high-level money manifesting, and I received this email from someone that I want to read you. So I'm going to read it to you right now, and then I'm going to read you my response. And so this will put some context on it and help it make sense to you. Okay, so she said, "Hi, Julie. Could it be that because spirituality has become an expensive commodity, there are those of us who know what we need but cannot accommodate our desires? Could you explain to me why others who can manifest anything they desire in little or no time would charge exorbitant prices to teach someone how to ascend and manifest? How does one justify greed with spirituality in the same sentence? Greed is a very low vibration, exclamation point, exclamation point. One is gifted with awakened powers to awake those who slumber, to expand the universe, to spread light to lightless, to teach others how to alleviate poverty. Instead, we sell our gifts as if what we have is exclusive to us, not for reasonable prices, but for thousands of dollars, maintaining the poverty status instead of alleviating it. This is not exclusive to any one person. We cloned spirituality in its purest form from Asia and tarnished it with the greed of the West. As such, spirituality has now become the monetized competitor with Christianity, comma, alarming, 4 exclamation points. Always in the light, for the light, signature. Okay, and then I wrote her back, and here's what I said. I said, hi, name. I hear you, and I think this is an important conversation topic. I have 3 questions/comments in response to your question. One of the reasons why I do free webinars and trainings and put so much free content out there, and in parentheses, YouTube, webinars, social media, Dharma Talk Tuesday, is to help people who can't afford to buy. Also, I'm going to be launching, cover this part up because it's a surprise and you're going to find out in 2019 what I'm talking about there. I'm committed to helping as many people as possible while I am alive and even beyond my life, and it gets built in stages. 2, are you in a prosperous career of Dharma right now? Obviously, the answer is no, because she says there are those of us, she says us, who know what we need but cannot accommodate. So the answer is no. 3, I said, did you watch the webinar? And the webinar I'm referring to is the one that's up for another few hours on this page, on this Facebook page. And then I said, actually, I have one more question too. I'm curious if you could say more about your comment about Christianity. Where did that come from and what did you mean by it? Appreciating you in this conversation, Julie. Okay, so that is my email back to her. So I'm gonna put my computer to the side for now and get my notes out because obviously I have a lot to say about this and I wanted to keep it really organized. So obviously, and I know that like the reason I am even highlighting that email and bringing it up is because she very bravely and boldly expressed what I know many others are thinking. So if she's saying that, if she's thinking it, what that says to me is many other people are also thinking it and saying it. So why not bring the conversation to the forefront and stop pretending like it's not happening? You know what I mean? Oh, we have so many people jumping on to say hi. Hello, everybody. Hearts and likes. When you hop on, so I know you're here. I so appreciate that. And also, as I was saying before, if you know someone who could benefit from this conversation, please share, hit the share button and tag them below because this is huge. This is really, really huge. I mean, the truth is we live on the earthly plane where we like need money. It's like a normal, like it's not, there's no denying it, you know? In fact, I love the Albert Camus quote. He says something like, there's nothing more spiritually arrogant than denying the fact that you need money. So like, let's just face it, you know? Thank you, Chandra. Thank you. Okay, so here are the assumptions in her email that I just want to address and like come to a neutral and an inspired place with, a higher vibe place with. The first thing that she's assuming here in her email, her first assumption is someone who offers high-value services is greedy. That's her assumption. Someone who offers a high-value service, a high-ticket item, is greedy. So it was literally an assumption. And here's what I'll say. Like, I don't even, like the word greed doesn't even come into my mind. Like, for example, like I'll just give some background on this. Like I'm actually Jewish, like I was raised Jewish, and I go to a church here in San Diego because I love the vibe there, and I really love the paradigm and the idea that church talks about. Like it's so comforting and peaceful and exciting and wonderful. Like it's so good. Like God is there and it's so good. And I love that the pastors at the church are so incredibly prosperous. Like they're really successful. I love that they talk about tithing. I love that it's a prosperity church. I love that they talk about money, about stretching, about the marketplace, about putting your faith in God to provide. I love that they talk about putting yourself out there and stretching beyond your comfort zone to make a difference for others. Like I actually love, and I love that the people who I invest in and my time and energy and money in, as far as my mentors, are incredibly successful. Like, why would I invest my time and energy and money in someone who didn't walk the talk? Like, why would like, that literally doesn't make sense. Like, I follow people who I want to emulate. Like, I model myself and my life after people who have a lifestyle, family, faith beliefs, like all of that I want to emulate. And so, like, she should be celebrating people who are successful, not calling them greedy. So when people have that trigger that someone is greedy when they're successful and doing really well, and that they're able to successfully enroll people and help people in these higher level services, if the consciousness, if their patterning, if their mindset goes into greed, what that says is something about their energy set point, which is something I talked about in the webinar I did on Saturday, which the replay is up for another few hours on this page that you can watch after this Dharma Talk Tuesday. So what that says is that if they're going into this mindset of like that person is greedy, that says so much. It says volumes about their mindset, about where they're at energetically, in terms of their value, in terms of their self-worth, and in terms of the way that they look at others. I think one of the things that causes people to look at others as greedy, rather than inspiring, or like I want to emulate that, or that's wonderful, or really more accurately, which is that income is a measure of impact, and when you're impacting more people, you get to make more money, and that's just the law of it, that's the principle of it. Rather than looking at it that way and looking at it in the point of view of greed, I think what's coming up with there is comparison and scarcity. So when people look at it like greedy, it's like they have something that I don't have. And she even says something later in her email, which is something like, poverty is a result is a result of people who offer high value services. That's an assumption she's sharing in her email. And again, it's like, that's so false. It's almost like ridiculous to think about when you put it that way, but I'm not trying to judge, so I'm not going to say that, even though I just did. But you know what I mean? It's like, to think that poverty is a result of someone else there is enough money to go around for everybody. Like, I know that the economy wants you to think that scarcity, and like the government and the bigger people want you to think that scarcity and that not enoughness, and like when you have more, you're taking from someone else. Like they want you to think that that's a real thing. Like, I know that that's something that's in human consciousness that a lot of people struggle with. I'm very well aware of that. But the truth is, that's not true. Like, I read a statistic somewhere, and I wish I'd been prepared with the statistics, because sometimes I channel and I don't know what I'm going to say. And in this moment, I wish I had this statistic. If someone knows this statistic, please post it here. It's something like, if we were to take all the wealth in all the world and distribute it out, everyone would still be a millionaire. Like, it would actually, everyone would be fine. But the truth is, people have these energy set points and belief systems that cause them to, Lucia, that's such a good, I couldn't even finish my sentence because I saw something pop up there that was so good. Lucia says, she's one of my good friends and clients. She says, we cannot be poor to make others wealthy. I can help no one by being poor, but by being wealthy, I can help others and I can take care of myself. Boom. Like mic drop. Like, yes, thank you. So good. Exactly. So in cultivating wealth and in cultivating your own nest egg, exactly what Lucia said, like, and especially if you're a high vibration person, like, which means you are, if you're watching this, like, you're here to be committed to your dharma and to positively influencing others and leaving a positive legacy, then you're only helping the world by having more money. I really love what T. Harv Eker says about money manifesting and increasing wealth. He gave an example. He was like, he told this story of a woman in like a third world country who had like a goiter or something like that. And it was like really challenging her health, and it was really limiting to her life. And the treatment for her problem only cost like $30. But she saved for 5 years to be able to afford that treatment. And at some point, like, it's $30. It's like, someone send her $30 so she can get the treatment. But the truth is, there are many, 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 many more people out there who have that challenge, who it's like $30 times a million, $30 times tens of million. And so when those of us who have this way of thinking about others, of like impact and legacy and dharma, as all of you do since you're watching this, when we make more money, we're able to influence more. So for example, as I make more money, not only am I a great example of what's possible, like I give other people permission to raise their energy set point, but I can also give. So for example, one of the causes I really love love giving to is dolphin conservation and marine conservation and the reduction of plastic. Like that's a cause I'm really fired up about. And so as I'm like, that's one of the reasons why I'm so motivated to pursue prosperity, is because as I make more and more and more money, I can give to that cause. And every single one of you has a cause that's important to you. And you're able to do something with that money or give to someone else who's in need. For example, like I have a woman who just joined Maya who has a really important cause in the world, and she wasn't, Maya's my group coaching program, and I actually gave her like she's a cause that I'm contributing towards. Like I gave her a scholarship to be able to join my program because she's in a situation where she wouldn't like, and I'm just sharing this with you so that you have full transparency into how I operate, how I work, and how I think. And I'll also be honest with you, which also proves my point. Like I have given scholarships to people who were in a different situation, who were like in America, for example, and perfectly capable. Like those of us in America are so blessed. It's like crazy. We are so lucky, especially myself. Like I've lived in China, I've lived in Africa, I've seen all kinds of very third world situations, and it's just such a blessing. Like I love being able to pay taxes in America. I know that sounds so crazy, but it's like we are so lucky. It's like that's such a perspective thing. And so like I've actually given scholarships at the beginning of my business. I was like, I want to help people, so I reduced the cost of my services in the beginning. And I actually gave scholarships to people just out of the goodness of my heart. And guess what? Those are all the people that didn't get results. Whereas the rest of my clients who pay these higher ticket items get incredible, extraordinary, miraculous results, right? And so, like for example, the woman who I gave the scholarship to, it's like she's got a crazy conversion rate where it's like, you know, it's literally like $1 to $1 million kind of situation. Like it'd be completely, there's no way she could, you know what I mean? So, it's a different situation. Let me see there are so many comments flowing in right now. I want to stop and say hi before this thread gets too behind. Thank you, those of you that shared this very important topic. I appreciate you sharing. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Chandra, hi Brian. Yay, it's the hardcore leadership community. Hi everyone manifesting. Julia's on fire. It's beautiful. Thank you. Terry, Brian. Oh, Terry says, I want to hear about your retreat. Yes, the retreat, Dharma Live, was so awesome. You must come to the one in the winter, Terry. I'll be sure to tell you about it. Chandra says, money is not a reason to make a decision. You get a choice. Totally. Bridget says, Emily and Bridget say, hi. Hi, ladies. Thank you for being here. Nikki says, I have a massive cause. Nikki, tell us about it. Hi, Jessica. So good to see you here. Brian says, yeah, we can talk sometime. It was a fantastic experience. Yes. Lucia says, you made it happen. Yes. All right, cool. All right. So, okay. There's so much here I want to go over. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the greedy thing. Okay, so that's about your perspective. That's about your filters. And even just to speak into this from an NLP perspective, like neuro-linguistic programming, we see the world through our certain filters. It's not actually fact. The way we see the world is not fact. It's through certain filters. And the reason is because we actually receive about 50,000 bits of information in our brains at any given moment, like literally every moment. And we can only process 7 of those pieces of information consciously. So how does your brain choose what to focus on? Well, it's through your conditioning, your beliefs, and your filters. So if someone has the kind of belief that programs them to look at someone like offering high value services as greedy, that says volumes about the rest of their belief systems. And literally, like, that's why when she says, I can't accommodate my desires, like, that's why, because that's your belief system. Like, you actually set yourself up to not being able to accommodate your desires by even thinking about the world that way. All right, Shawnee says, I believe when we want to make more money, it's because we can use it in a caring way. Yeah, money loves to have a purpose. Like, money loves to be stewarded, to your point, Shawnee. I completely agree. All right. So the next point, she says services should be offered at a lower cost. So yeah, I have a whole price range ranging from free, like my webinar that I did on Saturday, that's still on my page that you can totally go watch until I take it down, or my Dharma Talk Tuesdays that I do every single week, which are essentially a webinar that I plan out, and it's like a course, like it's the same thing when I go and teach my Money Alignment Yoga Academy. I sit down and I come up with a curriculum, and it's the same thing I do here, except it's free here and my Mayans pay for it. Of course, my Mayans have a whole other level of service, which brings me to another point, which I'll get to in a minute. But my point is that I have free things that I offer, and then there's a range. Like, for example, most people pay $1,000 an hour to coach with me, and you can't even pay by the hour because I don't offer that because I don't believe in that. But one of the things I'm doing right now for a very limited period of time for this week is for people who want to do an energy shift session with me, like I talked about on the webinar, it's only $67. It's stupid. It's so low cost. Nobody ever can get that price point from me. So I do these deals along the way. I'll do Black Friday, or I'll do 72-hour sales where I really bring down the price for things, make them affordable. 7-day chakra opening yoga challenge for $77, which is on a previous Dharma Talk Tuesday. Things like that. So yes, I have lower cost items. It's not all thousands of dollars like she said in the email. And it's exactly that, because I can access and help and impact more people along the way by doing that. And of course I have the higher level items. And here's the deal. My clients that pay thousands of dollars to work with me get better results. You get what you pay for. And the reason is that I can't give my services away for less than that. And the reason is because I have a whole team that supports me, and I get to pay them. They don't just I get to, those of you that are in Maya, the level of support you receive. I have a whole team that runs that program. So in order to be able to create that level of experience, the retreat costs $12,000 to run. In order to create those kinds of experiences for people, you need money. And so people who are willing and ready to invest at that level and experience that level of service and transformation and support and accountability and training and curriculum, then I have something for you. It's stupid not to offer something at that level if you can do it, which I can and I do. And so we've got the free items, we've got the $67 sessions that are on sale, we've got the $77 chakra opening yoga challenge, and we've got my programs like Maya, one-on-one, the various things that you can do, in my company. And of course, it's growing and expanding. And my commitment, my desire, my vision is to leave a legacy so that all of this impact lasts way beyond my life, way beyond my life. And so that generations beyond can be affected by this work, and that all of my content can be left for these generations to study and to make a difference for them. Okay. So let's see, what else do I need to touch on? Okay, she said another assumption from her email is prosperity shouldn't come from high value services in the realm of spirituality. So I wrote her an email. She never wrote me back, so I can only speak from what she actually wrote the first time. So I have no clarification on this, but either she meant that prosperity shouldn't come from high value services, or prosperity shouldn't come from high value services specifically in the realm of spirituality. So what's sad about that is if someone like me, well, first of all, Maya, most of what I do, that the higher level things, is actually business coaching, bringing yoga and spirituality into it, just to clarify that, right? And then, manifesting work and high level manifesting and all of that. So if someone, and I've invested thousands of dollars in spirituality coaching happily. It changed my life. I'm a different human as a result of investing in that type of work. So thank God for that. And the truth is, if that service hadn't been available to me, I would still be the same broken person I was. When was that? 8 or 9 years ago. I would still be at that level of evolution. Well, I shouldn't say broken, but not at the evolution I ended up becoming as a result of investing in that. And the person who I was working with, she had a family, she was running a program, she had to charge at that level. It was $1,500 a month for 12 months plus a deposit. She had to charge at that level in order to A, run the services, B, account for her time. Because you guys, our time is the most precious thing we have. Our time is the most valuable asset we have. So if you don't value your time, you have an issue. That's a self-worth thing. That's a value thing. So thank God she valued her time. She's one of the best in the world. I mean, she'd worked with Wayne Dyer, Marianne Williamson, Gabrielle Bernstein. She worked at, along with Hay House. She was at Hay House. So thank God, and all she taught was spirituality. So thank God she valued her time enough, and thank God she had an offering that I could say yes to so that she could help me and many others. Some of you know exactly who I'm talking about, who are on the Dharma Talk Tuesday, and you would agree, I'm sure. Hearts and likes, if you know exactly, like hearts, you agree. Or someone else that you know who offers a high value service that their expertise becomes available because they're willing to offer their time. And if you're, thank you, Jessica. So if you're offering your time for anything less than a premium, like, you are in a challenging situation, because that's like you're wasting your life. And I hate to be blunt like that, but sometimes we need to hear that. Like, you just can't make the impact, you can't have the life that you were meant to have when you are charging, like, as a coach or someone who's giving your time as a consultant. If you're charging anything less than like $500 a month, then we have an issue, and you need to schedule a call with me so I can help you, because there's a gap there. There is a gap there. Like, you are worthy of so much more than that. Okay. So, like, let's be clear. So, let's see what else. You get what you pay for. Also, people value what they pay for. People value what they pay for. So again, it's amazing to watch the people who invest in my programs. Like, when I first started coaching, my price point was much lower than it is now. And as my price point has gone up, people's results have gotten better and better and better. That's not a freaking coincidence. People value what they pay for. You know, like, I look at some of the things that I spend money on, like in my bank account, right? You know, and this is, by the way, one of the reasons why tithing is so important, because when we're talking about tithing, it's like, you know, it says in the Bible that to bring the tithe, bring your money to God first, because God doesn't care about your money. He cares about your heart. Like, the universe spirit cares about your heart. And most people really care about their money. Like, we do. It's like, it's a survival thing. Like, we get to care about our money. And that's why it's important to bring the tithe first, because your money is connected to your heart. And so that's like the access point. Like, it's like that phrase, where's your heart at? It's all about where your spirit's at, where God is at, your divine flow. So when you look at someone's bank account, it's actually showing you what they care about. And like, when I have some of these, like, for example, I have this charge that comes through from iTunes every month, and it's $3, $2.99. And I'm like, what even is this? Like, I couldn't even tell you what that is. Like, I don't really care. It's like $2.99. Like, I should look at it. And I think I have looked into it once, and I was like, oh yeah, it's that. I need that. But like, I don't think about something that's $2.99. Whereas when I look at the thing that is like, for example, I pay $2.97 a month for ClickFunnels, and I freaking love ClickFunnels, and I'm obsessed with it, and I love Russell Brunson, and I love what he does, and I'm a total funnel hacker, and I'm a total stand for other people being funnel hackers and using ClickFunnels, and I value that service very, very much. Or my mentor, who is $2,400, you know, like, you better believe I'm going to trust her and follow what she says. And like, those moments of procrastination or being tired or I don't want to or whatever goes right out the window when I know, like, oh shoot, like $2,400 is at stake this month, right? Nikki says, very much so. People value what they pay for, and their results reflect that. Exactly. Okay, what else? Some of this I already covered because I was channeling. Income equals impact. You want to make more income, make more impact. Get out of your own way, stick your neck out. It's not about being greedy. It's actually the opposite of that. It's called being selfless. It's about looking up and looking out and saying, who can I make a difference for today? It's about being a blessing. Like I was taught. Lucia. I see you laughing over there, Lucia. She says, Leslie Bauer, we were talking about Russell Brunson. Funnels, 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 funnels. So funny. So if you want to make more income, make more impact. And that's what Dharma is all about. There's a principle, I say it all the time, there's a principle in the sutras called Artha, A-R-T-H-A, and it says you are entitled to, it is your birthright to receive everything you need in order to prosper and in order to fulfill on your Dharma. So if your Dharma is to help other people and you need money for that, you need to meet certain people for that, you need to make certain connections, then it's actually your birthright to receive that flow. And if you're not receiving that flow, it means you've put up a wall. And doing things like calling people greedy for modeling the prosperous life and being on purpose, or accusing them of causing poverty on the planet is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, that's called putting up a wall and not being able to receive the artha, the flow that it is your birthright to receive. the other thing I want to say is there's always a way. Some people say things like, I can't find a way, I'm stuck, I'm blocked. And I don't care what you say, like there's always a way. And when you're somebody who is committed to finding the solution for the problem, for the thing that you want, like you can't tell me as a mother that, wow, Duke's got something to say about that. I'm not a mother, but I would believe that if something happened to one of your kids and you needed to come up with the money, you'd freaking find a way. Like there is always a way. It's just a question of how committed you are. That's all it is. And so you just, it's all it is a self-assessment. Like how committed am I to, finding the resources I need to grow. Different people require different things in order to for your dharma, for your specific dharma. So as an example, if you need to invest in something to have the knowledge or the training or the resources to leverage and reach more people, or acquire the wisdom, or connect with the right people and become a part of a mastermind and connect with the right people, and you're like, shoot, I can't afford it. Well, like if you look up and out, yeah, Shawnee, she says, sell your concert tickets for yoga classes. Exactly. Or like, let's see, what else have I done? I used to, when I was in Asia, I really wanted to take, so Shawnee, you said your yoga studio is $89. When I was in Hong Kong, which is one of the most expensive cities in the world, getting my graduate degree, getting paid like nothing, I really wanted to go to a yoga studio, and the yoga studio was like $150 a month. It was crazy. And I was like, I really need to manifest money for this. I ended up manifesting an opportunity to teach kids dance classes, which paid me really, really, really well. There is always a way. There is always a way. If you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not believing, then you won't see it. Like you won't see the solution. You need to be fully invested in seeing and finding the solution, and then you'll find the way. And that's it, actually. That covers everything. I don't even know what time it is, but I feel like I've been going really like late on these lately. So yeah, I don't know what time it is. Anyway, hearts and likes if this made a difference for you. And I really hope the woman who wrote that email is watching this, and or people who have that same thought or question as her are watching this, and that it makes a difference. Because I feel like my job on this planet is to wake, like exactly what she said. And actually she said a few good things in there, which is someone who has, oh my God, I just need to show you guys this really quick. I need to show you what's happening over here. Do you see what? He's trying to get under the table. Duke, he's trying to get under the table, and he can't scooch in with where the bench is. Can you see his face? Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you see that sweet face? He wants more than anything to be under the table, but he couldn't fit under the table, so he's settling for whatever that is. Oh my gosh, he's so ridiculous. Anyway. So silly Duke. Dharma dog, as we say here at the Dharma Circle. Hashtag Dharma dog. What was I just saying? I feel like this is what it is going to be like to be a mom, like getting really distracted by your adorable babies. Hearts and likes if you're a mom and you agree that that's something that happens when you have children. Oh yeah, so many hearts and likes coming through right now. So many hearts and likes coming through. Yes, Brian, thank you. As I'm dwindling off. No, I was saying a really good point though. I definitely was saying a really good point. Can someone remind me of the point that I was saying? Because it was a really good point. That would be awesome if you can remind me. I'm going to go through the comments as you're reminding me of the point that I was making. Let's see. Evelyn says, I'm here. Hi, Evelyn. Let's see. Lucia says, look for the good because you will find what you are looking for. Yes, where your attention goes, energy flows. Nikki says, very much so. People value what they pay for, and their results reflect that. Nikki says, it's an exchange. So true. So true. Evelyn, I like the table. Thanks, girl. All right. Clearly no one remembers what I was talking about. So anyway, we can go back and watch the replay, and I'm sure it'll come back in maybe for the next Dharma Talk Tuesday. So I hope this made a difference for all of you. Sending you love. That's what it is, Lucia. I'm on a mission to wake people up. So she had a really good point. She said, those of you that are awakened and find thank you all for helping me, thank you all for helping remind me of what I was talking about, because this is so cool. You guys, when I'm doing this Dharma Talk Tuesday and you provide these little summaries of what I'm talking about, this is so helpful. You should do this every time. Anyway, I am indeed on a mission to wake people up. Exactly what she said. That's exactly it. And that's why I'm having this conversation with you, because I'd be remiss to not have this conversation with you. Like, I had a feeling in my gut, like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm going to piss somebody off. I don't want to do it. But it's in having a willingness to piss people off, a willingness to have this conversation with you, having a willingness to like shine the light on a really dark shadow and misperception. Guess what? This is one of the reasons why I get to make money, is because I'm willing to piss people off, and I'm willing to like to talk about the hard topics, religion, money, all of these things. I don't really talk about politics, but I could. And the people that do are smart. You know, it's good to talk about divisive things because it's good to have an opinion. It's good to not be a people pleaser and to help people have a perspective. So I guess what I'm going to leave you with is I invite every single one of you to be divisive, not in like a cutting way or a digging way or a negative, like derogatory way, but in a waking people up way. And don't be afraid to have really high price points for your value. Like, don't be afraid to put your stake in the ground and say, hey, here's what I'm worth. And also, of course, like give your free stuff, give a ton of value, give lower, price items, like do all of those things, have a full range, because it's your dharma and it's your duty to make a ton of money, to be wealthy, to be prosperous, to enjoy your life, to help a ton of people along the way, and you know, through generous giving as well as through the services and products that you offer, and to be an example and a model and give other people permission to do the same thing, you're doing. So what I'm gonna do, yeah, Nikki, yeah, girl. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post a couple links when I pop off here. I'm gonna post a link to the webinar replay if you wanna check it out before I bring it down tonight. I'm gonna post a link to the energy set point shift session, because I've got a few spots open still. And what was the other thing? There was one other thing I was talking about that I'm gonna share. I can't remember, but if I remember, I'll post it here. So hope this made a difference for you. So great to see you all here. And I'll see you next week, 6 o'clock, Dharma Talk Tuesday, 6 o'clock Pacific. And I won't be in the Dharma Talk Tuesday chair. I'll be mentoring a leadership program. So a bit of a different vibe, but I'll see you there. And have an awesome rest of your week. Bye.